Welcome back to part 2 of the FRS rebuild series. Now in this series we are taking this FRS that we bought fully stripped apart. We're putting all the wiring back in, all the suspension, the motor, as you can see, and everything in this car was stripped out. So we're putting that all back in, and the plan is to get this thing running in this episode. So stick with us and we can see this thing running soon. Now, if you saw part 1, you would have seen us take this motor out of the other car that we bought, which is sitting outside. It is an orange FRS, the exact same model and everything, but that one had a motor, but a bad body. It had hail damage. So this one here has a great body. It's in pretty good shape, and the plan was to take this motor, put it in the car. So that's the reason we bought that second car. It's also been helpful for other things like little bits and little fasteners, and actually parts of the wiring harness we ended up using as well. So now what we're going to do is refresh this motor a little bit before we put it in the car. So now is the time to do things like valve cover gaskets. We're going to do spark plugs while we're at it. There is one of these idler pulleys that's making a bit of a sound, so we're going to replace that. Going to do the rear main seal while we're at it, and just take care of a couple little things here and there to just get it fresh before we put it in the car. So we're going to start with valve cover gaskets and spark plugs, and then we will see where we go from there. Okay, now that the valve cover gaskets are done, we have this new idler pulley on here. We are going to lift the motor up again and get the rear main seal done. Then we're going to be able to join the transmission and the motor, which is always the worst part of any motor swap, and throw the thing in, see where it goes from there. Oh yeah. We got the rear main seal done, the flywheel is on and torqued, and now Matt's going to finesse putting the clutch pressure plate and friction disc on, so I don't know how I can help.
I need an extra hand somehow.
Oh, I don't have one. Okay, get it on the studs. Okay, we're on the studs. Now we can start sliding in. We'll have to go up, back, yeah, okay. Motor's about to go in, so we're gonna set up the time lapse and just throw the sucker in. So the motor's in. Wow, that was easy. So transmission mounts on, motor mounts are on. Now it's just a matter of doing the fuel, a little bit of electrical, and then we're going to try to get this thing started with no water in it, just to see if we're good to go. Make sure our wiring's all good, so just see if we have any fires or not, and see if any warning lights are on the dash. And then yeah, we're going to give it a try. I'm going to try firing it up for the first time soon, so we're just going to get everything buttoned up and then get on to the fun part. Well, we believe we have everything in place that we need to be able to, you know, put some power to this harness and actually see what's going to happen. So, good one, Matt. There's a funny guy over here. Let me get you a tenner. So there's power going to the harness. We're just going to take a quick look for fires. No fires. Okay, good. We'll try turning over the key, just see if we can get some voltage into the system, and then we'll see what happens, I guess. So we have power getting to the cluster. Got some beeps.
Sounds like a fuel pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do some searching around, make sure there's no smokage.
Yeah.
No leakage. No. See no smoke. That was something.
Wow. Well, it's not bad. Let's try it again. And honestly, maybe out of fuel, but that sounds really good. Well, as you can see there, the car runs. We did it, thankfully, because that was a fair bit of work, but actually the easy part was putting the motor in. Happy to hear that our wiring is all working, from what it seems anyways. We are waiting on the AC compressor before we can get the water pump running and get the coolant in there and everything. So we are going to change gears a little bit and now go into the suspension stuff while we wait on a couple parts. So Matt is now working on the front suspension and he's getting the brakes and getting everything tightened back up because we got this car not all together. It was kind of in place, but things weren't all tightened. So we're making sure that everything is tightened up and torqued. And then, right Matt? Torque and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Torque wrenches somewhere. And then we're gonna get, there you go. I'm over here working in the back. So I'm dealing with all the evap stuff and the fuel tank kind of extra things. I don't know what these are, but I'm putting them in. So I'm going to look at the car outside and just referencing where things go. This is all just the kind of boring stuff where we're just piecing things together, so we're not really going to film any of it, but we'll come back once in a while and give you some updates on what we're doing. So new brake lines are going in. We had to rebuild these because he had cut them here for some reason. So Matt's been hard at work getting new brake lines installed. He's doing all the fussy stuff while I'm busy working on the subframe, having a good time.
Having a good time, he says.
So a little time has passed and we have made some progress. Matt is still there weeks and weeks later working on the brakes in the front. But subframe is now in the car. And we have the rear brakes all completed. This is all new e-brake equipment. So I guess rear brakes are not done. We have to put the caliper and the rotor on. But all the fuel tank and the evap, all that stuff's done. We have the drive shaft and the exhaust waiting to go in. And before we were waiting on the AC compressor, we received that. We had to order that through eBay because we couldn't find them locally. We got that installed. The lines are run up to the front evaporator, whatever that's called. And the lines are running here. We installed the heater core and the air conditioning HVAC unit inside the car, so we need to hook up the heater core and AC lines. And then we've made a little bit more progress inside the car. We have, we're getting to the point where we want to hook up all the electronics and just make sure that all our wiring is good and all the modules are good. So we have the airbags reinstalled, the side curtain airbags on both sides, passenger airbag, and we've just gone and plugged in a bunch of the electrics. So steering wheel still needs to be installed, but we have like the HVAC controls and all the little buttons here and there. We're going to try to start it and just run it and see what kind of error codes we get. But that's about it. We're going to keep working on buttoning up a few more things, and then we're going to get this thing running again. So let's just get to it. We're now plugging the battery back in. We've got everything plugged in that we think we're going to need. There's a couple things that aren't plugged in, such as like fog lights and little things like that. But for the most part, we have all the important systems plugged in. We are going to turn the key, and we got our OBD2 scanner hooked up. We're going to see what kind of codes we get, see how this thing runs, and hope that no airbags blow off in our face.
No, they haven't yet. So
Clutch pedal is still sunk to the floor, so we don't have to worry about no fluid in there. Yeah, no fluid in the clutch system yet, but we're gonna give it a run and see what happens. Very low idle. It wants to die. Might just need to be cleaned out.
Idle's kind of low, eh?
Yeah, very low. It's like 500 RPM. It's very shaky too, so definitely needs a little clearing out. It seems to rev fine. It might just be a throttle thing, Matt. Like where we have to do some sort of reset procedure.
Yeah, I don't know on these electronic ones. Honda's got the cable.
Yep, simple. So, still pretty good. We got a few lights to figure out, so we're gonna hook up the scan tool, do some diagnosis, and start the troubleshooting. Okay, so since that last clip there, we have figured out the problem. And we've made a little bit of progress in the interior, getting a few things together. So the dashboard is in, and the roof liner's in. And what ended up being the problem is this wheel speed sensor back here. I actually had to wire those with a new connector, and I had the pins flipped. So when I reflipped them, everything was happy, and this thing now idles like a champ. We're gonna start it up again soon, but for right now, we're just gonna finish getting the things together. We're actually getting very close to getting this thing like 100% and ready to actually drive on the road today. So, quick update to what we've done. We have all the brakes installed and bled. Clutch system's bled. All the fluids are in the transmission and the diff. Axles have been torqued. We're actually putting the rear wheels on for the last time, and exhaust is fully on. Front wheels might have to come off again to get the wheel liners in. I just realized, Matt.
That's okay, I'm getting really good at it.
And then we got the front bumper to put on, and then there's a couple plastic trims here and there, especially around the front bumper. Matt just got these on here, and the rear's all finished, trunk's finished, the mud flaps for the rear are on, and all the guard liners. So really this thing is coming along quickly, and it's just those few things left that we have to do before we can drop this thing down to the ground and give it like its first actual test drive. So we're gonna get to it. We're gonna start with the interior next, get the carpet in and the rest of the plastics and the steering wheel and seats, and then we'll just throw this thing on the ground.
All right, car is basically assembled for the most part. This will be our final first startup.
That's good.
It's good.
We got no lights on other than
Well, we need gas.
yeah, and the tire monitor system.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
No, but
Stereo's working, I was questioning that.
yep, we got power, got sound. Pretty good. So as you can see, the car is now fully assembled. We have been working at getting this thing fully like safety inspected and registered, and that is all taken care of. It really didn't need much other than the ABS light was on. And so that was matter of me just flipping 2 wires around on that one ABS sensor that I had to wire up.
There was a simple thing too, wasn't one of the bulbs clear and it needs to be amber?
Yeah, exactly.
So like simple things, otherwise it was primo.
And we kind of knew that going in, like we were going to, we did all the pre-checks beforehand. All the brakes were good, everything was good because we touched the whole car pretty much. So that was simple. We've been driving the car, it drives good. And now it's winter time, so you can tell the car is sitting on these dollies and kind of parked in the back of the garage now. So that's kind of where it sits from here. So that was a nice big fun project. It took a lot longer than we were expecting, but I think it was a good time.
Yeah, you learn a lot when a car is completely disassembled and you got to put every piece back together.
Yeah.
Definitely helped that we had a second FRS that we could use kind of as a template to steal any missing parts off of. So I'm excited to get to work on that, but that'll have to happen in spring once all the snow melts.
Yeah, but we do have plans. We're working on stuff to get that car, to get parts for that car. We need a motor, we need a couple parts here and there. So we are gonna be working on that in the background, and then there will be more videos about the orange car, because the silver one we are going to sell. That was the plan from the beginning.
Yep.
So it's gonna kind of we're gonna use the funds from this to really spend time behind the wheel of the orange one. So we have a lot of work and driving to do on that car. So that'll be coming up, but thanks for sticking around and watching this series with us. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Later.